Hi there, my name is Taylor. I am the red hair Texan, and today I'm going to be dyeing my hair. I get lots of compliments on my hair color, so I figured I would go through the process of dyeing and cutting my hair. So I'm going to be touching up my roots with the Ion Dark Red Blonde, and then I'm going to be doing my ends, the majority of my hair, with the XMONDO Color 7C. I'm so excited to try this. I've seen so many videos with it, and I watched Brad Mondo's YouTube channel, so I figured I would do a video on it since I'm testing it for the first time. So I have used his gloss before, so I do know a little bit about his formula. I haven't used his color before. When I saw he came out with a natural red, I was so excited. So I'm going to be doing that. So I did use a leave-in spray conditioner in my hair, but otherwise my hair is pretty clean. So my plan today is I'm going to be touching up my roots first. So since this is a permanent color, I'm just going to hit my roots, and then I'm going to wash my hair. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to cut my hair in between, coloring my hair with the permanent color. The reason I'm doing this is because I want my hair to be a little bit wet to use the semi-permanent, not wet, like damp. The only reason I want that is because XMONDO color is a little thick, and I really like that, but it makes it a little easier if your hair is a little wet. Now, I am not a hair colorist. This is all just from my experience. I have been coloring my hair since I was 16, so and I'm going to be 30 this year, so know a little bit about hair color just from on the fly. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm also going to be cutting my hair just because it's going to be wet, and I'm going to go through the process. So this is the before. I let my hair fade as much as I could. So I have about an inch of regrowth here. And this is the length. It's about, mid-back. I usually do the at home wolf cut and then just kind of do some face framing layers, which Brad Mondo, don't come at me, but I do like to use the razor for my face framing. It's just how I've done it since I was 16, and I just feel more comfortable doing that. I tried to use his tutorial with the bangs and whatever, but I have curly hair, so you really can't see any of those flaws unless I straighten my hair, which I don't do very often. So let's get into it. So let me show you what I have. So I have 20 volume and 10 volume. I try to make it like a 15 volume just because my roots are a little dark. It's darkened as I gotten older. So I like to make a 15 volume just to kind of really get those roots in. And then I have a brush, highly recommend, and a bowl. Now I have some just plain gloves. These are from my husband's work. He's a mechanic. So you don't need to buy expensive gloves. Just do what you gotta do. I suggest when you're using permanent color that your hair be clean, because I've done it when it's dirty and it's gotten patchy before. I should have known better, but that's life. So I'm not going to use the full tube. I don't think there's a need for it. I'm just doing it for my roots. So get this mixed in here. And so while I'm doing this, I'm going to give you guys a little hair history. A little over a year ago, I did decide to do, bangs were orange and the underneath was orange, so you can kind of tell how it's a little bit lighter here. It's grown out quite a bit. You can see from here down where it's really light, that's where it's just grown out. I'll pop a picture in here. And that's what it looked like whenever I first did it. I didn't leave it too long just because it was a little wild for me. Back in the day, I used to have a really, really bright red hair. But now that I'm older, I've just kind of gone into a little bit more natural. I wouldn't say natural, but gone into a little bit more natural just because it's easier to maintain. So I'm going to go on with a little bit of 20 volume. Pretty much a 50-50 mix of the 20 and the 10, maybe a little bit more 20, just because my roots are pretty dark and pretty stubborn. So I like to do that. I'm just eyeballing it. I don't measure. I'm not a pro here. So just going with the heart. So I'm going to mix this up. That's what it looks like right now. And I'm just going to mix it up until it's nice and smooth. So I'm going to go in with a little bit more developer here. It's just a little too thick for my liking. I like my color to be a little bit on the thinner side. I'm just going to use up the last of my 20. Just because it's only going on my roots. I'm not going to be doing the ends of my hair. So I just want to make sure it gets dispersed. Wow. Okay. So this is what the color looks like right now. So I'm back. I just finished the top front section of my hair. Now, once again, I am not a professional. Getting the back of my hair is a little difficult. So I'm going to skip over this part, but I pretty much just tilt my head forward and pretty much just try to do exactly what I just did with the front section. With the back, it's a little bit more messy because I can't see what I'm doing. I'm just going by feel. So do what you will. If you want to do a whole fancy setup and like the mirrors behind you, cool. But again, my hair is almost never straight. It's almost never, no one's ever going to see the bottom of my hair. If it's in a ponytail, it's in the back. Don't look at it, you know, whatever. So I'm going to skip over this part real fast. But that's pretty much just what I do. So I'm just going through now and making sure that I hit the crown of my head since I have some leftover color. Just making sure I hit everything. This part's a little bit messy, so I am just making sure that I hit the crown because sometimes I miss some spots. See, like right there, I don't think I saturated it. I hit it, but just, you know, going through, making sure everything is good and wet. So if the color is dry, it's not going to work as well. So just keep on going. If you got to add more color, you got to add more color. I'm only using half a tube and I still had color left over. So, I mean, there's no reason why you should be wasting color. There's always going to be areas that you're going to have to saturate more. If your scalp doesn't feel wet, there's not enough color. So, okay, and I'm just going to make sure I hit the fronts really good. The good thing about using a darker-ish color is that it's going to show on your skin. Like, you're going to see kind of what you miss. At least with me, I'm so pale. I can see. So that's pretty much it. I go a little bit beyond the 1 inch mark, mainly because I don't want to miss anything. And that way it kind of blends. Even if the XMONDO color isn't an exact match, it'll kind of look like it was an intentional color match. The good thing about red color is it fades pretty quickly. So it should fade into each other. So that is that. So I'm just going to let this sit for 30 to 45 minutes. I kind of just eyeball the time, to be honest with you. But it needs at least 25 minutes to sit. So I try to shoot more for the 30, 45 mark. And I will be back after I wash my hair, and we will cut my hair and then put the XMONDO color on. Okay, I'm back. So my color was washed out. I just shampooed my hair and just combed it out. So this is what it's looking like. From what I can tell, it's looking good. I don't think there's any patches or anything, but I'm going to go over it with a semi-permanent anyway. So if it soaks in any of that color, great. So like I said, I'm pale, so you can see where I dyed my baby hairs. That fades in a couple days. So this is my hair damp. So with my hair being curly, it's much longer when it's wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the wolf cut now first. Okay, so my hair is damp. You can see it's like not quite dry, not quite soaking wet. That's the kind of where I like to put my semi-permanent. Now, I don't always do it outside the shower. So whenever I'm just touching up the color, like my roots haven't quite grown in yet, or like they're only just like barely showing, but the color's faded, I'll just do a quick gloss in the shower, leave it for 5-10 minutes, sometimes 15, just kind of depends. And I will just freshen up the color. But whenever I'm like first applying it, especially in this application, because this is the first time I'm using this XMONDO color and I'm filming it, I'm doing it outside the shower. So, and I like to let it sit longer. Now, the instructions say for hair to be dry. I've already kind of told you I like my hair to be a little wet just because it's a thicker texture. And then to leave it on for 15 minutes. I'm going to probably leave it on longer than that. I really like it to soak up. And plus XMONDO it's like a hair mask. So it's not going to hurt anything for it to sit on longer. So I'm probably going to leave it on for more like 45 minutes. Make sure I get that really good color saturation. Next XMONDO color smells amazing. So, and this is what it looks like. So it's really thick, like I said. So I'm going to just kind of rub the top off into my hair. Just nothing goes to waste around here. So I'm going to try and not use the whole tube, but I'm just going to take it in my hands and just kind of go at it here. I know XMONDO is probably screeching in his chair right now, but I just go at it and lather it through. I'll take a comb through towards the end, but just slap it on there. Make sure, you know, it's coated. And with my hair being the way it is, I really am not too worried. Like if a spot gets missed, it'll just look like I have highlights. You know, that's kind of the good thing about curly hair is it really does hide imperfections. And it's a semi-permanent. So, I mean, I'm just going to go over it in a couple months anyways. So I'm not super concerned about it, you know. So I'm just going to have at it. This is just what I do. I've been doing it long enough that you just don't care after a while. And I'm really trying to make sure I get the under part of my hair because that's the part where it was bleached. So it, you know, it takes a little bit longer for that color to soak into that bleached hair, and it falls out quicker. So I like to really make sure that spot's hit. Make sure I get my roots up here real good. Now I am going to go over my roots again. It's not going to hurt anything. My hair is probably not going to take any color from this because I just did it. The follicle might be open enough to take a little bit just to kind of blend it. But with it being a semi-permanent, it's not going to really do much to my roots. It's just going to blend it, and that's fine. I'm not looking for perfection. This is just for everyday color. So, and since my hair was already kind of red, this is a really good canvas for this to go on. I kind of wish my hair was a little bit more like faded out, but this is what we're working with. So it just is what it is. I'm just making sure I get it all in here real good. And then I will take a comb and comb through the rest of it. So your hair should look like it is wet when you're done. If it doesn't look like it's wet, you don't have enough on there. Quite frankly, like your hair should not look dry. And my mic is getting covered in color. That's fun. So this is what we're working with. I'm going to take my comb wherever it went and just comb through here and just make sure that the color is everywhere. Now, some of the videos that I've seen of people testing this, the color came out a little brighter. It looks a little bit darker to me in the tube, so I'm hoping it's a little bit more bright. I watched Aislinn. Her channel is AKA Aislinn, I think, something like that. She does a lot of like hair color testing and things like that, so I like to watch her as well. And I watched her, and she did her hair, but her hair was blonde when she put the color over, so that will make a bit of a difference. So I'm hoping we have some good color payoff here. I do want it to be a little bit brighter. Like, it is a natural color, but I still want some, you know, brightness. So what I've done before is I used, I think it's Good Dye Young hair color. I've used Arctic Fox semi-permanent colors before, and I've kind of played around with colors. Like I've mixed colors together to make the perfect shade for me, because I do like the natural coppers and everything for sure, but I do still like a little bit of a hint of bright red color in there, just for a little fun. So sometimes I have this Ion like bright red color conditioner, and I will add that to it. And that has worked for me previously, to just add that little bit of depth of color in there that I want. And that's usually worked for me in the past. I'm not doing that today because I want to see what this color looks like just on its own. Now, like I said, I'm not on a perfect base. Like my base was already kind of red. So I'm hoping it will still take right. I'm sure it will, because I mean, XMONDO's color is really, really good. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more on here, just really make sure I'm lathered up good. Make sure I get behind the ears and underneath really good. But I think I am fully saturated here. So you can see, like, it is coated. So I am going to let this sit. Now, Brad, I know you don't like the whole top knot thing, but this is how I've done it. Now, I don't recommend it when you're using a permanent color, because it has the developer and heat and all that. When you're bleaching and all that, it does make a difference. But when it's semi-permanent, I don't feel like it makes that much of a difference. So I'm just going to make sure my baby hairs get hit. I do look crazy after my baby hairs are all done. For a couple weeks-ish, a couple days to a week, my baby hairs look a little wild, but it's worth it to me, because I feel like my hair looks more natural when I do that. So I feel like I've tried it in the past where I didn't do my baby hairs, and I felt like I looked like I had a dark shadow around my face. So I just like to hit my baby hairs. Personal preference, do you. So I still have about half a tube, which is great. I really like that, so I can still touch up my color in a couple months when it's faded. Sometimes a little less than that. It just depends on the color, and I'll get back to you on that, on whether or not I had to touch it up sooner or not. But so far, it feels really nice, really heavy, but in a good way. Like, it doesn't feel like I just put cake on my hair. It just feels like I put a really good mask on. So far, really like it. I've just used the gloss before, so I have really no concerns on what it's going to feel like afterwards. I know my hair is going to feel amazing. I'm just going to clean up the edges here so I don't, look wild. So I'm sure it's going to feel, my hair's going to feel extra soft afterwards. So I will get back to you after my shower with my makeup and everything done and do a final reveal. See you in a bit. All right, everyone, so this is the final result. I'm super happy with it. It blended really well into my root color. The haircut, which I didn't film, I'm sorry guys, turned out really great. I just used a razor and kind of made these angles with my bangs, and I took off about 2 inches, but you really can't tell lengthwise just because the wolf cut is so good. So I'm super happy with it, and hopefully you guys liked the video. Definitely give XMONDO 7C a thumbs up.